Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome out to another video on the channel. Recently, I posted my first Pokemon challenge video, and because of all your support, the video is now by far the most popular video on my channel. And when I say by far, I mean by far. So since you guys seem to like the video a lot, I decided to do another one, and this time I want to try my best to do better on this challenge. Today we will be seeing if I can beat Pokemon Shield with only a Yamper. If we take a look at Yamper's base stats, you will notice that his stats are pretty balanced. But then there's his speed stat, which is absolutely garbage. Because of this, I know we will have some troubles since we will be getting outsped by a lot. Now looking at his movesets, TMs, and TRs he learns, you will quickly notice that he has some diverse moves he can learn. Not only does he have stab physical electric attacks, but he can also learn moves like Fire Fang, Dig, and Play Rough, which are all types that we will need a lot through this playthrough. Before we get into this challenge, let's go over the rules. The first rule is I can only use Yamper. The second rule is that I cannot use any glitches, which I'm not really smart enough to know any anyways. And the final rule is that I cannot use items in battle, but I can use held items. With all this out of the way, let's hop into the challenge. To start off, I don't know how to hack Yamper in to be one of my starters, so I did the same thing I did with the Lulu video. I played the game up to the point where I could catch a Yamper. The good thing is that you can catch Yamper on Route 2, so you only have to battle hop once when you choose your starter, and then you can go catch Yamper. Since Yamper's physical attack is a little better than its special attack, I tried to find a Yamper with an adamant nature, which boosts the Pokemon's physical attack and lowers its special attack. I looked for an hour and couldn't find a Yamper with the nature, so I ended up settling with a Yamper with a neutral nature. After catching my Yamper, I grinded up to level 10 and then took on all the trainers in the route. I made it to Hop and easily ran through his team with no problems. Then it was time to grab a wishing star, hop on a train with Hop, you see what I did there? Then we made it to the wild area where I decided to do some raid battles to get some experience candies since I knew we were going to need them to grind up fast. We then headed into Motorstoke where once again I wanted to change my hairstyle and put on an ugly outfit. Then I made it to the hotel where I pounded down some grunts in the middle of the lobby. We then decided to get some rest and wake up bright and early the next day to get introduced for the gym challenge. After, Hop wanted to throw down and he meant business this time. My combo of using Nuzzle to paralyze his Pokemon and then using Bite to flinch them did not work. His Grookey poked my Yamper with a stick and it was just too much for Yamper to handle. I also made a whoopsie because I forgot to grab the leftovers in the wild area. So I went back and grabbed it since it's an important held item in this challenge. I tried battling Hop one more time after grabbing the leftovers. This time because of the leftovers, I was able to beat Hop's Grookey with 5 HP remaining and then nuzzle his Rookie D until it fainted. After this battle, I headed to Route 3 to beat most of the trainers there and within the mines, and at the end of the mines we were met by Bede. Last video, a lot of you guys told me how you guys say his name, and you all had different answers. So I looked it up online and it looks like it's pronounced like beet. Like the vegetable. I'm lost. Well anyways, we destroyed his full psychic team with the move Bite since it's super effective. After exiting the mines, we had the grass type gym up next, which I knew was going to give us problems since it resists our stab electric moves. Relying on paralysis and flinches wasn't going to work very well here. I decided to take on all the trainers on Route 4 and then decided to press my luck with the gym at level 22. His Glossifer was pretty easy to beat because I was getting flinches using Bite, but the Eldergloss showed me up doing way more damage to me than I could do to it. The next try, I changed up my strategy a bit. Once we both Dynamax, I max guarded the first and the third turn so he only got one max strike off on me, before we both went back to normal form. I then nuzzled to paralyze him and then spammed Bite and was able to win easily. We then headed down to Route 5 where we were met by Team Yell fanboys. Yamper destroyed their team with our paralyzed and flinch strategy. It was then time to battle Hop on the bridge. Once again, using the same strategy, I was just barely able to get through his Thwackey with 20 health left. His Corvisquire went for Pluck and luckily for me, my Yamper ate it up and was able to beat it with a critical hit Spark. We then head to Holberry. I headed straight to the gym because I felt super confident with my type advantage. I beat Nessa's Goldeen with 2 Sparks, her Arrokuda with 1, and then her Dreadnought with 2 max Lightnings, and with that we easily got our second badge. We then headed to Galar's second mine where we were met by Bede. At level 28, Yamper was not able to bite his Pokemon to victory because by the time we got to Galarian Ponyta, we were too badly damaged to take it out. I thought it was time for an upgrade. We grinded up Yamper to level 30 where he gets access to Crunch, which is the better version of Bite. With this move, we ran through Bede's team. I then made it through the mine where once again some fanboys wanted to battle. Hop and I teamed up and ran through their team. We then made it to Motorstoke and headed to the hotel. Marnie introduces herself to us for the first time and wants to battle us. I was able to get through her team easily up to the Morpeko, which bodies us, and her getting the flinch didn't help us either. I knew I was going to need to do more damage and get good RNG to beat this Morpeko. I went back and battled her every level I gained to beat it at the earliest level I possibly could. Finally, at level 36, I was able to barely survive on 2 HP and not get flinched to finally take down the Morpeko. It was now time to try and take down the third gym. I knew this gym was going to be a problem just like it was in my Wooloo challenge because the Ninetale burns you to start off the match, which halves your attack. With the burn having my attack and also hurting me each turn, I lost to the Arcanine by his first attack. I gained a few levels and tried a few more times, and each time I would lose to the Arcanine because the burn was too much for Yamper to handle. I knew I needed a special move. Well, Yamper can learn Thunderball and Thunder, which are both great stab powerful electric moves. The only way to get these moves though is by buying them in the wild area using your Watts. I grinded up some raid battles until I could afford Thunder, which was the only one of the 2 moves they were selling. The accuracy is not good at 70%, but the move's power is 110%, so if it hits, it will be doing a lot of damage. I went back after teaching Yamper the move and tried beating the gym. If Thunder hits Ninetales without missing, it is a 2-turn KO. It is the same thing with the Arcanine as well. The problem that we face now is that I need to hit Thunder consistently without missing to make it to Kabu's Gigantamax Centiskorch with enough HP to live a couple hits. The first try, I missed a couple of Thunders, but made it to the Centiskorch and lost because Yamper was already in red health. The second try, I tried Dynamaxing the second turn on the Arcanine so I for sure would hit him and got to the Centiskorch at half health. I was feeling good, but then realized that Centiskorch's max Flutterby also lowers my special attack. I was not able to beat him because of this. I did less and less damage every turn. After that try, I knew I had to be a higher level to do more initial damage to his Centiskorch. I went back every level I gained and lost every single time. Finally, at level 50, I was able to get some good RNG by not missing Thunder and got to his Centiskorch with about 70% of my health and still yet to Dynamax. We each Dynamax and I got lucky he went for G-Max Centinferno, which doesn't lower my special attack, which is good because now I can use full damaging moves. I went for Max Lightning and did just about half, and then I followed up with 2 more Max Lightnings to win the battle. We then headed through the next part of the wild area, arrive in Hammerlock, quickly mash A through some story stuff, and make it to Route 6 where we take on some more Team Yell people. We demolish them, then proceeded to Route 6, beat a few trainers down, and then make it to Side, where Hop instantly wants to battle. Since we are a really high level from the previous gym, we make quick use of his team. It is now time to take on the Ghost-type gym. Yamper knowing Crunch made this a very easy battle. I made it to Alistair's Gigantamax Gengar with 80% of my health. Yamper eats 2 max oozes, used 2 max darkness attacks, and then we take him out. That was definitely the easiest gym yet. We head north of the city to Galar's, air quotes, historical site and face off against Bede once again. We are still at a much higher level, so we basically one-shot his whole team with Crunch. We then make our way through Glimwood Tangle to make it to Baloney Town to take on the Fairy Gym. For this gym, I needed to get lucky and make sure the Weezing didn't poison me and make sure to answer Opal's questions correctly. If I don't answer the questions correctly, it would lower my stats where it would make it impossible to win at this level. The Weezing luckily did not poison me and I answered the questions correctly. The first question raised my speed, the second raised my defense and special defense, and then the third raised my special attack sharply. With the stat boost, it makes this win automatic because it's basically free setup. After beating Opal, I went and grabbed Dig from Route 7 since I knew I was going to need it and headed right of Hammerlock to take on Hop. This battle was very hard in my last run with Wooloo, so I prepared myself to get stuck here for a while. Good thing I prepared myself because even at level 53 I got absolutely walled by his Snorlax. His defenses alone was too much for my Yamper to get past. Once again I battled him multiple times and after each battle I would go back to take him on again and failed to either Snorlax or Rillaboom. After trying many times, I reached level 65 and was finally able to make it through his team with just enough health to just barely beat his Rillaboom. I proceeded to make my way through the next routes to make it to Sirchester to take on the Ice-type gym. Since we already grabbed the move Fire Fang from the Pokemart in Hammerlock, I knew this gym was not going to be that bad. Melanie starts off with her Frostmoth, which we one-shot with Fire Fang. Then she sends out her Darmanitan, who taunts me. I go for Fire Feint and take him to low health, and then Yamper dodges an Icicle Crash from his Zen mode, and then the next turn I take him out. I then proceed to crack Ice Cube's Ice Cube and then one-shot it with Fire Fang. Now comes the Lapras. Yamper ate a few attacks from it and then 3-shots it with Max Lightning, and with that, we have our 6th badge. Now once again, we get to take on Hop. Yay! Guess who's getting stuck again? Yep, his team is just too freaking thick. I just got stalled out by the Snorlax long enough to be at low health for the Rillaboom to one-shot me. I kept going back at every level like I usually do, and the earliest level I could even compete was level 78. I made it to his Rillaboom with about 70% of my health and was able to tank a couple hits from him and 2-shot him. Then I one-shot his Pinurchin with Dig, easy kill. Then comes his Corviknight, which I fry with Thunder. Finally, after being stalled out this battle forever, I can resume my progress and make it through the next route to make it to Spikemuth. Marnie won't let us in until we destroy her in a battle. Well, I didn't destroy her, but with the use of Dig, we make it through her team with just barely surviving the poison her Toxicroak left me. It is now time for the 7th gym challenge. Just like the last video, I had to put a second Mon on my team to even enter the gym. I took some of your opinions from the last video and put on a second Yamper that was at level 5. Since the challenge states I can only use one Yamper, I decided that I couldn't use an attacking move with the second Yamper, which for this gym isn't really a problem since the only double battle in this gym is a grunt battle, and we were able to beat it with just use the moves Play Rough and Dig. After battling this gym in the last challenge, I had a rough idea on how to try and beat Piers. Scrafty's Intimidate instantly lowers my physical attack at the beginning of the battle, but it's okay because I can still one-shot it with Play Rough. Then comes the Malamar, which does about 30% of my health before I two-shot it with Play Rough. Now in comes the Obstagoon, which I knew has Obstruct. If you physically attack a Pokemon using Obstruct, not only does the Pokemon get protected, but the attacker's defense also gets lowered. Knowing that he was probably going to start off using this move, I went for a special attacking Thunder so it wouldn't lower my defense. Since I didn't want to take the risk of him doing 2 Obstructs in a row, I kept using Thunder, but since I have booty luck, I missed 2 in a row and he lands 2 Throw Shops in a row, taking me to yellow health. I ended up landing a couple Thunders after missing a lot and finally take the Obstagoon down, but the bad part was I was left in red health to battle a Skuntank. I misclick and go for Spark and it sucker punches me and makes me faint. After that try, I knew it was possible to win this battle at this level as long as I got some good luck landing a few Thunders in a row and going for Dig on the Skuntank. I then head into round 2. Everything went the same at the beginning of the battle and I make it to the Obstagoon and land my first Thunder. He obstructs and then the following turn I go for Play Rough and land it, but Obstagoon lives in red. I follow up with Thunder to kill. In comes Skuntank. He outspeeds and goes for Screech, harshly lowering my defense, and I go for Dig. The following turn it shocks me because he Toxics me when I'm underground. What? How? When could you do that? I have never in my life knew you could do that. Anyways, I pop up and take him to yellow health with Dig. The following turn, he sucker punches me before I use Dig, and the following turn, I kill him with Dig, and then I die to Aftermath, just like the Wooloo video. I call it a win though because in Pokemon Showdown, whoever is the last to faint wins the battle. Now it's time to head to Hammerlock to take on the 8th gym. I had to mentally prepare myself for this one because Raihan has 2 ground types, Flygon and Sandaconda, who are both super effective against my Yamper. The good news is that Flygon only goes for Breaking Swipe, and the Sandaconda doesn't have Earthquake. Sandaconda does have Earth Power though, which is a problem, but it's better than him having Earthquake. I knew Raihan was going to start off the battle using Breaking Swipe, which lowers my attack, so I needed to focus on the Flygon and go for Play Rough. The problem is though, is that I did not one-shot him and he outsped, so before I even beat the Flygon, he lowered my attack twice and I'm in yellow health due to the attacks Breaking Swipe and Gigalith's Sand Tomb. Then the Sandaconda comes in and protects and I just died to Gigalith's Sand Tomb and the Sandstorm. At level 79, Yamper was just not going to do it in this battle. I had to grind up some levels to even have a chance at all. Also, by some levels, I mean a lot, because each time I went back, I lost no matter what level I was. I wanted to stay at a lower level to beat this challenge, but I knew I had to keep leveling up if I wanted to even win this challenge. So at level 95, I was finally able to compete against his team. I finally was at a level to one-shot the Flygon, so my attack only went down 1 stage. Then I went for Dig twice against the Gigalith to take it down. He then sends out his Duraludon and we both Dynamaxed. I decided to ignore the Sandaconda since it wasn't doing much and go for Max Quakes on the Duraludon, which two-shotted it. I then Max Quaked the Sandaconda and used Play Rough twice to take it out. Now it was time to fly through Route 10 and head to Winden Stadium to start the tournament. Our first battle was against Marnie. We take care of the Leopard and Scrafty with Play Rough, then we take the Toxicroak and Morpeko out with Dig. Her last Pokemon is Grimmsnarl, which we take care of with 1 Max Starfall. Easy peasy. Next battle is Hop. His double faints to a Spark and a Thunder. Then his Snorlax comes in and gets beaten by 2 Sparks. His Pinurchin looks pathetic again as it faints to 1 Dig. Then his Corviknight falls to 1 Spark, and then finally his Rillaboom faints to 2 Max Starfalls since I forgot to put Fire Fang back on Yamper. After that, we head to the hotel, and outside we get told the only way to talk to Leon is by playing some quick hide and seek. We play the little game and take down all the trainers who are hiding with Dig and Fire Fang since all they have are Steel-type Pokemon. We then head to Rose Tower and embarrass some more Steel-type trainers in an elevator, and then we make it to the top where we are met by Oleana. She is a worthy opponent if you don't know her strategy. She burns you right off the bat with Will-O-Wisp, which makes the battle almost impossible since most of my moves are physical. Knowing this, I gave Yamper a Lumberry to hold, which healed the burn right away. The only problem is that now I have to beat her without gaining health back from the leftovers. This isn't a huge problem because I one-shot Frostlass with Fire Fang, Milotic with Thunder, and Salazzle with Dig. Now her Serena is a problem because it goes for Trop Kick, which lowers the opponent's attack, which we need for the next Pokemon. We also can't one-shot it with Fire Fang, so I decided to Dynamax early and go for Max Flare to one-shot it. Then comes Gigantamax Garbodor, which we one-shot with 1 Max Quake. We then listen to the chairman talk about his weird ways he wants to, quotations, save the region, and then head to Wyndham Stadium to finish off the tournament. Beat is up first with a Mawile, which instantly lowers my attack with Intimidate, but we two-shot it with Fire Fang. In comes Gardevoir, who we kill by using Thunder and 2 Fire Fangs. Galarian Rapidash is next, which I Fire Fang and then Dynamax to use Max Flare to finish it off. Then I finish off the battle by two-shotting his Haterna with 2 Max Flares. Next battle is Nesso, who I don't really need to go over since we literally destroy her team with just Spark. Same with Alistair, who we annihilate with Crunch. Then we face off against Raihan, who got worse since it's a single battle instead of a double battle. We make quick work of the Torkoal with Dig and then one-shot the Flygon with Play Rough. Turtonator goes down to 2 Digs, Goodra goes down to 1 Play Rough, and then Duraludon falls to 2 Max Quakes. Now it's time for the champion. Oh my gosh, should you fall for that again? Nah, we gotta go do some story stuff real quick. We grab the Sword and Shield and the Slumbering Weald and head to Hammerlock, where we head to take down the chairman. With Wooloo, this battle was super tough and I got really lucky with a crit at the end to win. It is a whole different story with Yamper though, since he has Fire Fang, which just absolutely decimates his team. I almost one-shot every one of his Pokemon and defeat him with half my health. We head upstairs to show that a Corgi can take down a really scary legendary with the help of some other doggos and a goat. Now that that's over with, it's time to take on the champion. Now this battle is seriously all based on luck. His Aegislash has King Shield, which if I attack him physically on the turn he uses it, it lowers my attack, which I can't have happen because I'll need it for the rest of the battle. So my strategy was to go for Thunder on Aegislash, which two-shots it if he goes out of his shield form for 1 turn. Before I kill him though, he gets a Shadow Ball hit, which takes me down to about 60% health before Leftovers comes in. After that, Haxorus comes in and goes for Earthquake, which almost one-shots me if I'm not Dynamax, which screws me over for the rest of the battle. So my strategy for that is to Dynamax to eat up the Earthquake a little better and allows me to one-shot him with Max Starfall, which I can't do with a regular Play Rough. While Dynamax, I'm able to take down the Inteleon with Max Lightning and Dragapult with Max Starfall. I then go back to normal Yamper and face off against Mr. Rhyme. This is where I have to get lucky. I need him to go for Teeter Dance at least once, which doesn't do anything with the miss from Max Starfall around the field. On a lucky run, I beat him with 2 crunches while still above 62 points of HP. Then comes the Gigantamax Charizard. For me to beat him, he has to go for Max Rockfall, which only does 61 damage to me, which I can live on a good run. Then I would need to land a Thunder and paralyze him so I could outspeed him. Then the next turn I could win with a second Thunder if I could land it. The problem is I was the most unlucky person ever. I could never get the perfect RNG to get the W in this battle, but it is possible. A lot of the time I would either miss Thunders at the beginning, which would screw me over because I would take too much damage from the Aegislash to survive until the Charizard. Sometimes if I got to Mr. Rhyme, he wouldn't Teeter Dance and would go for Psychic twice in a row instead, which would kill me. Or I would get to his Charizard and he would go for Max Overgrowth and one-shot me. Or the final way I would lose is to miss the Thunder on the Charizard and die, or I would get the Thunder but no paralysis, so he would kill me the very next turn. I battled Leon over and over for 4 straight hours and could never get all the rolls I needed to win, but I know it is possible to do. I also even tried Eviolite like many of you suggested in the last video, and by many I mean all of you. The Eviolite, for anyone who doesn't know, boosts unevolved Pokemon special defense and defense by 50%. But yeah, that didn't work either because yes, I would take a little bit less damage from each move, but I needed the gradual health from the leftovers because overall, I would get more health back from the leftovers than I would save from the Eviolite. So if you're wondering if you could beat this game with only Yamper and no items while in battle, I would say yes you can. I just wasn't lucky enough in the final battle to get the perfect roll. But thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate everyone's support on these videos because they take a really long time to make. Make sure to slap that like and subscribe button down below if you like this video. Also, comment suggestions on other challenge videos you would like to see me do in the future. With that, I love you all and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.